My name is Vince McIntyre. I'm 67 years old. I was born in the west of Ireland. I've always believed in doing things by hand, and I've shoveled a lot of manure and dirt, and it's all with my hand. I found this place by accident and decided to camp here with my girlfriend in 1979. She was a mountaineer. I come here one time to help somebody get firewood. There was an old clear cut, and all the trees were, it was so beautiful, the panorama of the mountains and the lake and all that, that I said, oh, that'd be a nice place to live. And then this was in October of 1979, so we wanted to make a camp. And back then I could really work hard, and we wanted to make it so it wasn't really visible or whatever, because it was on Crown land. So I started digging down here, and she helped me, and we made that little downstairs place with a stove. I cut off a 45-gallon drum and put a hole for a lid and put it on the ground. That was our fire for the winter. And putting the roof on the snow. That's how we started here. Yeah. 30 years later, we're still here. You know, when I hit my mid-40s, I decided, this work that I'm doing is totally meaningless to me, And that's when I decided to farm. When I started growing food, I come to realize it's really important to feed my family and my friends and people around me. And you have to accept the fact that you have to go and look after your cattle and horses if you have animals. It keeps you humble. I remember thinking, riding around in a tractor in southern Ontario, thinking I'm not going to do this in my life. And, I'm less extreme now, like I've come around to more technological stuff, but then I wasn't. This is the way I wanted to do it. For a person to learn horses out of a book is pretty difficult. A lot of people, I find that with their first introduction, they treat it like a machine. Like you say whoa and the brakes are on, And to me it's more like being on a boat in rough water, that there's movement going on, and you always have to be in touch with the movement with horses. So it takes a lot of focus. For me, it's a discipline. It's actually maybe like somebody doing the yoga or something like that, because you really takes you out of yourself, makes you focus on, and yeah, you have to be like that to make it like horse thing work for you, and keep even temper. So if you get angry with your horses, you're in trouble. You have to be polite. You have to ask them. You have to get their willingness and attention. And then also the whole feeding and care process like that. What motivates me is working with other people, but it has to be not just, it has to have some meaning to it, like come into my life that I've worked with, they're my heroes. Yeah, we have to have our heroes, and we have to have our, see the good in humans, And that's the way I find the good in humans, the people I work with. And I might seem harsh on people and hard on people, and I am, and I'm never going to be different. It's, to me, life is do or die, and then you're living. If I take a day off, that's probably the worst thing for me, because then I get to think. I do too much of it already, And the ideas I have and everything in the process of working are pop, but when I start sitting, then pretty soon, after about 2 days, I'm just waiting for the sky to fall. But it's also really necessary, that you have ideas and then you have to manifest them. And if you can manifest them, you're fortunate, you know. I like story. I like to talk to people. I'd like to visit more people. I'd like to get their stories. My favorite poem about getting old and going down hard is Dylan Thomas. His Rage Against the Dying of the Light. That you don't want to get old. You don't want to die. These old stories of Ireland by a guy named Douglas Hyde, and he wrote down stuff literally exactly how to translate, even though it didn't make sense. But one thing in there, sentence or phrase in there, was living alive. And then I thought about that for a while, and I says, yeah, this is my life. If it doesn't work, I've tried. Yeah.